we always keep a few visitors because you have the likes of sometimes the clients or a representative to the client base or anybody comes. You have to accommodate. We need to accommodate for everybody come round. Sometimes we have some of the kids from the college come round.
Oh yeah.
Different times, because obviously kids who are going to college who aren't getting to see what's actually happening. That goes down 8 metres.
8 metres?
Yeah, and see the black hose that goes up to it?
Yeah.
So they'll drill it down, right, and they drill a hole that wide.
Yeah.
350mm wide, so it's just over a foot wide. Take it down, and then as they're bringing it up, they fill it full of concrete.
Yeah.
And then this is a foundation that goes through it. And then there's a reinforced cage, see a metal cage.
All over the actual foundation?
All the way through. So this is it, this is looking down on it. So these are all your piles, and see the pile cap? So and then this one's cast over the top of it.
So you've got a pile inside where your slab is, and outside, is that full rocket?
For carry.
Full
it carries.
Yeah. If there's any movement in the actual groundwork, it will, that's
the ground, literally the ground can go wherever it wants because of these piles, because you've got 2 of them and they're 3 foot apart. No, you can't do just willy-nilly as you want. What we have to do is we have to get a team come in and they investigate the ground.
Yeah.
So they come in with a small rig and they do what we call boreholes. So they just test the ground to find out what the ground's made up of,
how deep
how stable it is, if they encounter any water.
I mean, obviously you
and
can't.
then what happens is at one stage you get a rig refusal. So that's when the rig stops being able to drill because the ground's so hard. There's always water underneath because everywhere in this planet we have a water table. Now the water table rises and drops, and the way they do a well, if you went out anywhere and dug, and if you dig deep enough, you will always have water. Every half a metre or so, they take a sample. Because the inside of the drill, there's always like a 4-inch inside of the drill that's hollow. Because the muck has to come up, sort of thing. So they'll do it, and then they lift it out, they lift a sleeve out the inside, and they put a sample in a jar and send it away to a geologist.
I think they do that with most sites now, don't they, with building sites before you start building, so you can see what
you've always got to do.
So
you've got to do it for
to
find out what's in the ground, to find out where your ground becomes stable, make sure there's no contamination, because there can be contamination in the ground and you can't just dig it out.
So you don't just go off what was on here before, and you can't do that? No. All the rules and regulations.
You can't plead ignorance and
you can't just think, well,
There's always issues as the building goes up, as it goes along. Like, to be honest with you, this may seem fairly complex, but in a city, this is a standard way of building now. Because the ground is, or tends to be, made up ground because it's been used and reused and reused. So it tends to be made up ground, part of wall conditions, along with our planning conditions. And we can't dig anywhere within 3 metres of that.
Of the boundary wall?
Without a written agreement. I mean, you can see there's a stack of them up there on the shelf. Up on the top shelf there.
Wow.
And every single one of them details a part of the party wall agreement. And each one of them has conditions. And I get one of them.
That's your rules and regulations, that's a Bible sort of thing.
Yeah, because it's all got a list of conditions that I have to meet and things that we have to do before we can even start. And in a lot of them, this is a piling one actually, we have to send them all these drawings and a method statement of how we're going to proceed with the works, what we're going to do, how we're going to achieve it, what measures we've put in place to make sure. And everything.
How long did that take to compile together then?
That took quite a bit of time. That's why we're 4 weeks behind at the moment, because the party wall issues took longer than anticipated. At the moment I'm doing my piling. Let's see if we've got it in here. Structural.
Can you see that?
Piling foundations, right?
So
it's here, pile foundations, and I should have been doing that for 2 weeks, starting the 27th of the 1st.
27th of the fourth.
First.
So
So 27th of January,
Yeah.
I should have been piloting. And it's
Oh.
now the 27th
So you
of
are a month
February,
ago, yeah.
Exactly.
4
So,
weeks
yeah.
ago, and I'm just getting the rig there.
So your original deadline of December might well be extended, perhaps, to.
We need to still try and achieve it.
Oh, do you?
So, yeah.
Will there be penalties involved if?
There's every chance there may be. The likelihood is, see, the party wall agreement is mostly down to the client, not the contractor, because it's out with our control. So things that are out with our control, we can't be held liable for.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
although every job tends to have a penalty clause at the back end, the
There's a
fact
bit
that
of
we're 4
flexibility
weeks
then.
behind because of something that's out with ours,
Yeah.
the likelihood we will make every endeavour to grab that 4 week back. You know what I mean? So we may have to pay extra money to put extra labour on the site to speed the job up or such like. But
Do you get a merit system if you do that? So if you crash down on a job and you get it done.
No, because that's what we're here
just
to do.
covers you, like.
We're here to try and meet this programme. We
Yeah.
have to meet the programme and the cost. We have to be able to build it in a certain amount of time for the money that we agreed to build it for. Sometimes bonuses aren't always the best things because sometimes people will try to cut corners
And it makes the job
to get forward, whereas Speller Metcalf on the whole,
That's what I was trying to get round.
our remit is that we do quality work.
Yeah, that's what you
So if you're paying somebody to push something, sometimes it can have an adverse
So you,
effect on it.
Yeah.
you build up a good reputation that people can trust in that way,
Yeah.
can't you?
And that is more
Which is
valuable
much.
than money. We get our jobs done properly before we get it done early.
Yeah.
So that's the ethos of our
Do the,
company.
do the job properly before
Yeah.
actually rush the jobs on.
Yeah.